No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to Smack It Raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 wrestling podcast on places where you can find people having sex on the internet, the Smackin It Raw podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter. And I am here with my co-host this evening. She is host of the She League Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd, Getting Off, and Story Time with Ms. Katie Kinsey Baby.
Hello.
Baby. And joining us again, ladies and gentlemen, from the Get Show podcast, a man that stands Sheamus, the man that would draft Sheamus #1 overall in a draft, Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada.
How's it going, guys? Acknowledging Smackin It Raw.
It's nice to have you back.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to make my return. Can Katie do the intro next time I'm on the show? Because she can roll her R's very well.
Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada.
Ah, there you go.
I can roll my R's too. I just chose not to.
I think I'm worth my R's being rolled.
Alejandro Estrada. There you have
there you go.
Anyway. So thank you. Well, thank you about the banger intro. I appreciate it. So tomorrow, if Vince doesn't get busy and or forget, you guys over on Vince's YouTube channel are in for a treat, right? You're in for a draft treat.
Yes.
I've been on every draft. I may not have drafted every draft, but I've been on every episode. I may or may not have drafted again. We have a debate currently. Katie doesn't think I should get Tongaloa with the Bloodline, even though I drafted the Bloodline because he debuted after we did the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Vince doesn't think I should get The Rock. I think I should get both. Vince said I should get Tongaloa, just not The Rock. Katie said I shouldn't get shit. I think I should get both.
I don't think you should get jack shit. Because he was not eligible to be drafted. That'd be like me, like claiming, like right now, like.
But he still showed up for the Bloodline, so he would be on my show. That's what I'm saying.
No, because he was.
And The Rock was part of the Bloodline. Well, anyway.
Well, he wasn't eligible to be drafted.
You had Roman in there to be drafted with the Bloodline, so like you let that.
Yeah, but I did that prior to him being removed, and I thought I removed Roman from there, so that was technical error on my part. So that's why you got Roman there. However, Rock was not eligible. Cena wasn't eligible. You know, they weren't in there. So no, you do not get the fucking Rock. And depending on how the show goes, you may or may not get Tongaloa.
Depending on how the show goes.
We'll see how the show goes.
Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada. Don't make me bring Vince back. Don't make me replace you with my old co-host.
Wow, you're gonna replace a Mexican
with the Mexican? Yes.
I don't know. Is he Mexican anymore?
I think he's, as far as I know, he is.
Haven't heard him in a while.
I heard him and Benji are actually hiding out in Mexico. So
you can't give away whereabouts, or just kind of give clues as to what they're doing.
General GPS location. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. If you're joining us live at twitch.tv/creationworld, where if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have Prime Gaming. If you have Prime Gaming, you get a free sub every month when you take that Twitch account and that Prime Gaming account and they fuck and they make a beautiful little baby that is a free sub. You give us that sub, specifically me. But if not me, give it to Katie because she takes subs. She loves subs. Katie's the biggest dom I know. Will Gray has this little thing called Rivet City Radio over on Twitch. You know, botch spots and chair shots, off the top media, all sorts of fun shit. You guys can go sub to them as well if you know, maybe I'm not for you. Maybe you don't like women's wrestling because you're a hater. So the Sheely Showcase isn't for you. Will's got a variety of things you might enjoy. Give it to somebody. Don't let it go to waste. If you have it, give it to somebody. Show your support. We would appreciate it. And I also deserve it. Just like all the votes when the roster drops.
Stop doing that. Stop that.
YouTube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Katie, what does that do?
Boost the algorithm and helps find new listeners.
That is correct. And why is that important, Katie?
Oh, because you're a whore.
I look like a whore. I talk like a whore. I fuck like a whore. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a whore for your likes, for your comments, for your views, for your subscriptions. Ask my wife. I'm here to entertain you. That's the whole point of us doing this podcast. We want to give you content that you enjoy. And the only way that I know that I'm doing a good job and that you enjoy it is through interaction, through likes, through subscribes, through comments, through, you know, cute little notes in my DMs with dick pics attached. Like all of those things. Let me know that you guys are enjoying the show or at least enjoying me. So
exactly,
do
guys.
those things. Huh?
So exactly, man. Eres una puta y te gusta que te anden pasando de una parte a otra. ¿Verdad? Es cierto, ¿no?
Pretty sure called you a bitch.
Yeah, no, he did. I know
Puta
that
means whore.
I've heard it in both contexts.
Depending on who you ask. Google whore, translated. Puta.
Oh, I know it means both. I'm just saying, I've heard.
Thank you for the Spanish translation, Vince, for all of those watching who don't speak English.
Who's Vince?
We do appreciate it.
Who's Vince?
Vicente.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're referencing me. Oh,
you're right.
Trying to wipe.
I'm sorry. Listen, you guys kind of look a little bit alike. I've been saying this
I know.
for a long time.
I know. Most
like,
Mexicans look
he
the
never
same.
did. He never did Spanish translations for me. Yeah, you, Eddie Guerrero, Dominic Mysterio, like couldn't tell you apart.
We all have mullets. I'm growing one. We all have like the same kind of like mustache and then nothing else here. So it's a trend. It's a thing.
So go there, do that, and while you're there, flick that bean, ladies and gentlemen. Let me watch you flick that bean. Let me know you flick that bean. And by that, I mean hit the notification bell, get notified every time we go live, whether it is Fridays at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, every Saturday at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, and every other Sunday, pending a change of format during the time that House of the Dragon is on for about 2 months, which has to be figured out and discussed. For Getting Off every other Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. I was so close. I did so good, then I fucked it up right there.
You were doing so well.
Oh, well. Let's get into the show. Katie, you got the news and the rumors?
I do have the news.
We're smashing and passing today, Will. So when we get there, you might want to go ahead.
It's after we do business follows, though, so you got time, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to talk about who was drafted after the draft was said and done, basically? Like the ones that weren't on TV?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just talk draft now. So me and Vince have varying opinions on the draft. I tend to agree with a lot of people that the draft in and of itself, you shouldn't be drafting superstars to a show that they are already on. In the NFL draft, you don't draft people that are already on your team to make sure that you keep them. I also believe that if you're doing a racial draft, you're supposed to be drafting people of another race to your race, not people of your race. Neither here nor there. To keep them. That's not how a draft works. They're already on your team. You can't draft people already on your team. That's my take on it. Vince really enjoyed the draft. He liked the people getting drafted to their brands that they already existed on.
Here's the thing. Were there like big shakeups this year? No, there weren't. However, there were some roster transactions. It doesn't make sense to shake up things just to shake them up. You know, like that was my whole like thing. It's like, okay, you're gonna move Kevin Owens to Raw and to what, like ruin like or you're gonna break up a tag team or break up a faction. You know, they're still trying to tell their stories. I feel like this time around I'm giving them a pass and see what they do next year. But they shouldn't every single year be like, oh, it's crucial that you keep your wrestlers. In that case, you should do what they do in expansion drafts in sports, where you go ahead and just have like protection on certain roster members, and everybody else is up for grabs. And then if they don't get drafted, you keep them there. Shout out to Travis being in the chat.
Just so you know, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, as of right now, you guys can go check out the latest episode of the Get Show podcast featuring Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada, as well as your boy Just, Dom, and the Will Gray. And the sweaty session is a racial draft. And I'm fairly certain after listening to it, Vince is the only person that drafted Latinos to the Latinos. So
listen,
Travis is sticking up for you, I believe.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna just assume that it's a positive. Just gonna assume it's a positive. But here's the thing: I can't have a draft for the Latinos and not draft the LWO and make sure they stay there, because now everyone that got drafted are new members of the LWO. So I need the brand, and also I'm trying to make sure I secure Bad Bunny and Becky G on my brand, on my race. You know, they come as a package deal.
Fair. Vince drafted like a real draft. The other four of us did our best to get canceled, essentially, and it was an entertaining time. I had a great one. I have seen the episode of the Chappelle Show. Yes, I have.
But also, I did draft people that were Latino or like half Latino, or I didn't realize were even like slightly a bit Latino on their mama's side. You know, I learned a lot doing this draft. So check it out. It's available right now.
So before Katie gives us the people who were drafted after Raw went off air, Gunther stays on Raw, Jade stays on SmackDown, Damage Control goes to Raw, Kevin Owens stays on SmackDown, CM Punk stays on Raw, Almighty Prophet stay on SmackDown, Braun Strowman returned. I don't remember where the fuck he was, but he's on Raw. Tiffany stays on SmackDown. Yeah. LWO to Raw with Carlito. Paquete de Lobos stay on SmackDown. Drew stays on Raw with CM Punk. Shinsuke stays on SmackDown. Judgment Day stays on Raw. Naomi stays on SmackDown. Dragunov goes to Raw. Chelsea and Piper go to SmackDown. New Day go to Raw, I believe, because they were feuding.
Stay on Raw.
Or no, stay on Raw. Yeah, they were feuding. Pretty Deadly stay on SmackDown. Lyra Valkyria goes to Raw. Candice and Indy go to SmackDown. The Final Testament go to Raw because they were feuding with the Pride, who were already on SmackDown. DIY goes to SmackDown. Bronson Reed stays on Raw. Goes to Raw. I don't know. It stays.
Bronson Reed stays. I can tell you who stays. I have it here.
Katie's favorite wrestler in NXT gets drafted up to SmackDown. The one, the only, Blair Davenport.
Fuck bitch. I can agree with that.
I think the result of the drafts are fine, but the presentation of the draft itself was tedious and boring.
Like,
Justin,
make that shit exciting. Bring back the 2005 draft. There was like, and there was like just the thing, and everyone's picture was popping up. Yeah, do that.
But shit. I like the war rooms. I like the war rooms aspect of it.
You can still show the war rooms. Be like, woohoo, we got them. Or,
what's the strategy if it's just random?
You can have like an ideal like list of who you want and leave it to the powers that be via the wheel thing, whatever.
But if it's a wheel, it would be random regardless of who they list. So like it doesn't really matter. It's like out of their hands.
You can still go in. It's like you whatever. I'm not arguing about the fucking draft anymore.
Adding NXT would have been fun. Neither here nor there. Katie, who else got drafted after Raw?
So SmackDown got Apollo, Cruz, Tegan Knox, and Giovanni Vinci. Raw got so many more people because SmackDown got disrespected this draft. Dijak from NXT. The Creeds with Ivy Nile, New Catch Republic, Natalia, Ninja Sex Party, and Odyssey Jones got drafted again.
He still works there?
He still works there. Oh, I'll get into people who don't. Don't worry. We'll get there.
Kind of like Carmelo Hayes got drafted to SmackDown from NXT, even though he signed a SmackDown contract a couple
Did
weeks
he sign a
before.
SmackDown contract? UNTC keep mentioning it, but I don't recall that actually happening.
He did.
Pretty sure he did. Yeah, he did.
He did. But he was still like doing shit in NXT. Now he's like officially done in NXT.
Anyway,
Allegedly.
nothing really exciting. I mean,
Exciting?
Lyra
No.
dragging off to Raw. I'm in.
They're just call-ups, though. You could have had those even without the draft.
I'm excited for Lyra, especially because Lyra is going to be in the first round of the Queen of the Ring qualifier
Against Asuka.
against fucking Asuka, and that's going to be dope.
Gonna be so good. The first round matches for the King and the Queen in the Ring tournament are amazing.
They released them?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that trend on social media.
During Backlash, they released them.
Sunday night, Katie, you and I did botch spots and chair shots, and then we did getting off.
Yeah. Wow, that shit like so long ago. Mm-hmm.
During that show, the whole Jim Cornette thing happened.
Yeah. I didn't even write down. I didn't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, so here's the thing. I want to address it because I've seen a lot of stuff, people defending him and then blah, blah, blah.
Why?
And I want to be clear when I say this. This is in no way, shape, or form in defense of him. This is me using an example of something that happened to prove why this shouldn't have happened. Vince, do you remember about a year ago, there was a thumbnail that we were going to make, and during the show, we were talking about watermelons, so I told you to put watermelons on the thumbnail?
He's currently joking, but yes, he understands.
And after that happened, because I think we were talking about boobs and comparing boobs to watermelons in the show, and I'm like, yeah, put those on there, because I wasn't thinking. And then I sent the thumbnail to Travis, and Travis was like, what the fuck is this? And then it dawned on me that our thumbnail was a black wrestler, and we put watermelons on there. Now, we didn't let that get released. We fixed it. Regardless of the content that we were discussing and the reason for it,
also,
we knew the way
the title too was kind of implying that the specific wrestler was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was a combination of a multitude of things.
Regardless, we caught it, we fixed it, we didn't release it because regardless of our intention and the content that the thumbnail was based on, we saw how it was going to be perceived, and we weren't going to release that out into the public. This is a tiny podcast, right? And we caught it and we fixed it. Someone like Jim Cornette, who has the reach and the PR teams and all of that shit, should never have let, regardless of context of what he was talking about or who was compared to what or whatever, let that thumbnail be released, knowing how it was going to look and how it was going to be perceived.
Mm-hmm.
Should have never happened.
On
top of the fact that on top of the fact that he is a white man who has used the N-word frequently in the past, top of all of that, that should have never been done. So regardless of your defenses, oh, well, the content, the context doesn't fucking matter here.
No.
It doesn't matter what he was talking about on the podcast. The image still exists, and the image, whether it may not be offensive to everybody, was still offensive to enough people that it shouldn't have been released. If you can even sit down and look at it and take it that way, whether it was meant that way or not, it shouldn't have been done. So I understand putting a thumbnail together and not piecing it together until later, but we caught it and we didn't do some dumb shit. We fixed it. it should have been caught by them if a tiny podcast like us can catch it before something
Or they
offensive
just
gets released
didn't care.
unintentionally. Or it was meant the way it was meant and it was released the way it was released. Because they didn't give
Probably that second option, because I'm in no mood to rant. I have no energy for it.
What else you got for news and rumors?
So I saw this on Wednesday before it like officially happened. First ever WWE Speed Champion, Ricochet. I saw this. I don't remember why I saw it, but it was before the match happened, or the match happened. They pre-record them like before the events. So yeah, it was the finals was Ricochet and Johnny Gargano. Ricochet became the first ever WWE Speed Champion. Shout out to Ricochet.
Go to AEW.
He's fine. He's got Samantha. He's Gucci. He doesn't need to go anywhere. He's fine. All right, we'll just talk releases since those happened. Not only was Scripps released, we knew him as Reggie. Gulak, and that was a whole fucking thing. And then NXT names that were released. Daryl Mason. Oh, I didn't look over these names. Oh no, I'm gonna fuck these up. Julian Baldi, that was the Italian guy who we never even got to see wrestle. So that kind of sucks. Trey Bearhill, Kashawn LaFleur. Is that L? Yeah. Valentina Feroz, Emma Diaz, Kia Saint, Ezekiel Balogun. I don't know. I've never heard of these people. And then Vlad Pavlenko, who I've also never heard of. But they were all in NXT or were going to be in NXT / in the PC and were released.
Okay.
Valentina Feroz is like one of the only names that have been there for a longer time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Didn't her tag partner get released last year, or is she still?
Yeah.
I thought they both got released at the same time. That's why when I saw her name, I'm like, she's still on the roster? I thought she got released.
No, it was only fuck. What's her name? That's gonna bother me. It was only one half of the tag team.
It's okay. I don't remember the name either. And she's my fellow Mexican, and I still don't remember.
Yeah, it was only one half of that tag team. Powerhouse Hobbs has to get surgery on, I think it was his leg that got actually injured in that match. So he'll be out for an extended period of time. It did not say how long. Ethan Page got let go of AEW and ROH, and people were like, where's Ethan Page's picture on the rosters? And then he released the video, kind of like tongue-in-cheek, talking about how he is selling out figures on Ringside Collectibles, and people got mad at it because he's making light of the fact that he lost his job. Because the internet, and everyone sucks. So whatever.
We've talked about doing a draft where we pick people on a roster that would be better suited somewhere else. Ethan Page has a lot of personality, a lot of charisma. I think that's his strongest suit. And he's another one of those people I think would be better suited in NXT or WWE than he would be over in AEW. Not saying he is a bad wrestler.
1,000%.
It's just AEW doesn't really focus on the character work and the charisma side as much as they're mainly focused on the in-ring content, right?
For sure.
And he doesn't stand out in ring in a roster full of amazing in-ring wrestlers, and he's not enough
I'll make a
personality to top like the MJFs. I'm still talking, Vince. Can you give me 2 seconds to finish, please, sir?
Please, sir.
Okay, now go ahead.
I'll compare. I was gonna say I'll make a case that it's very similar to LA Knight. Like nothing in LA Knight's in-ring repertoire really like just stands out. But you need to get him on the mic, let him to tell his story, and that's where he really shines. Ethan Page was the freelance world champion here in Chicago, Ashley was one of the owners here in freelance wrestling. So I saw him a lot, and I can see that when he's able to do his heel work or just get over as a babyface, the crowd does get behind him. So definitely need to get out of AEW for sure.
Well, he's already gone. So that's kind of the whole point of that.
Yeah.
And then the big thing that happened today. The reason I had to watch the goddamn Kentucky Derby to hear this news, because I don't watch the pony shows because I'm normal.
I'm glad short things have their own sport.
So announced during the Kentucky Derby, basically, there was an ad that played, and we finally got our WrestleMania 41 commercial in our news on April 19th and April 20th, 2025 in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We got WrestleMania 41. Woohoo!
I have not.
That's all that matters. I'm back.
I have not asked Kate yet, but unfortunately, they have moved the dates away from my birthday and to Easter weekend. And I am not 100% sure I am going to be able to convince Kate that we're going to tell both of our mothers and fathers that they cannot see their granddaughter on Easter, or convince Kate to leave her granddaughter or her daughter on Easter, or allow me to abandon the family for the Easter festivities to go to WrestleMania.
Hear me out. Just come the night one.
Yeah. Have to get from Vegas back to Chicago in time for Easter brunch.
Well, y'all can just push brunch back.
Have Easter dinner.
It's also 420, bro.
There's I can't do that.
I don't do that
and things. So
I don't know.
There's traditions in my family too, and I don't give a flying fuck. I'm gone.
Yes, but you don't have a daughter that your
I don't have a child.
Parents are like, exactly. That's my issue. Because Reek was all like, you got a year to get a babysitter. It's like, it's finding a babysitter isn't the problem. It's avoiding the entire family Easter weekend so I can go to Vegas and be at WrestleMania, and also getting
easy
together.
Just do what I do. I'd be like, no, you're not going to see your.
You also don't have a child.
No, but if I did have a child, I would just be like, you're just going to see them on Easter.
You would not do that, and if you did do that, you'd be Chankala, and you'd be on the show black and blue with busted glasses.
No, I would, because I mean, personally, neither of Melissa's mom or my mom really do anything for Easter like that. It's not as big in the Delgado Estrada household or adjacent households, so it just feels like a regular Sunday.
I love how you're like, it's not big for us, so I would do it, but it's big for you guys, so you should do it too.
Hear me out. Say you don't stay for Mania. Just come out to Vegas for like 2 days, so we can all just hang out, and then you can go back and be home in time for Easter.
I have to talk to the wife.
Want me to talk to her?
Like, you and Travis can try and talk to her. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know who. I think he wants to talk to your parents.
Is Travis gonna try to go too? Or is he just trying to be your advocate?
I'd love to get PC and Travis in the same room at the same time.
Also, by the way, I need someone to watch Natalie. Cool, she stays with you all. I don't have a room yet, my guy. I can't help you there.
I think he's talking about me.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
I have to talk to my wife. All right, so WrestleMania is in Vegas. The majority of our friend group and podcasting group are going to go. Probably won't be there, but we'll see.
You're going to be there.
They fucked it up. If they had left it around my birthday, I probably could have swung it. If I get the funds together, I could have done it. They moved it to fucking Easter, so.
I was not necessary to be present on an obscure date that's determined by the spring equinox. Just have Easter the weekend before. They'll never know.
Anyway, what else you got for news and rumors?
That was it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick off Spitzer Swallows. I am spitting on Raw the entire interaction between Logan Paul, the Judgment Day, and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes being basically the guest of Logan Paul, the friend of Logan Paul, and a heel ringside during the entire show.
It's because he's a prime athlete, so that's also
So is
partly
he
why
getting
it's there.
sued too in that Prime lawsuit where they're poisoning
Probably
people?
not. I think it's probably just the people who like created it and shit, i.e. Logan Paul and KSI.
But also, like, it was a weird dynamic because he was presented as a heel, but that's his
In his
home,
hometown after he won
the Super
After they
Bowl.
legit won the Super Bowl, but
But they
sound
were
about right.
cheering, like the crowd was cheering for him, but were conflicted when he was doing heelish things. So it's like, how did that make sense in their head? Like, it doesn't make sense.
It didn't. That's the
we also
problem.
had Logan Paul cut a. He's not good. He's not a good. Like I thought, talking was his thing. It's not. So
No,
he's
nothing
not
is
a good
his thing.
promo. He cut a shitty promo on Jey Uso after the draft picks. Finn and JD come down to save Paul from an ass whooping from Jay. Paul borrows 3 super rings and misses Jey Uso and blows JD McDonough's face up even more than it already is. Finn and Paul jump Jay. Strowman comes out and makes the save, which was fucking weird. But yeah, no, most importantly, JD's face was fucked.
So bad.
JD was face fucked.
He had a facial for sure.
You know, I'm not. Logan doesn't do it for me.
No. In that respect, adjacently, let's just spit I Show Speed being there because he completely ruined the announcement of CM Punk being drafted to Raw.
Sure.
Like,
I don't even know who the
he
fuck
just
that
had-
is. So yeah.
It's the dude that was with Logan Paul that made the draft announcements.
Yeah, but I don't know who he is.
I know who he is,
Twitch
unfortunately,
streamer.
because of TikTok would show him on my feed so much. But I
He's
would,
an influencer.
yeah, I don't care about the guy. That's why I'm mad that he's on my screen.
I'm 37 fucking years old. I don't give a fuck.
I'm 25 years old. Not my God.
Well, since Vince has a mouthful now, Katie, spit or swallow.
I'm gonna swallow Xavier Woods and Big Gunther. Hell of a fucking match. Just the dynamic of the two of them. Xavier Woods literally giving his all every single time he's in the ring. I want more people to respect Xavier Woods as a wrestler, in general, and the conflicting emotions Kofi had on the outside. You know, wanted to throw the towel in, didn't, because Xavier Woods like, I got this. He didn't have it, but like he did his best. But I loved that match. It was one of my favorite matches I watched this week.
All right.
It was a really good match. The whole throwing in the towel thing, like Kofi's like, I gotta do it, and then Xavier's like, no, don't do it, I got this. It's like, all right, I believe in you, bro. And then he doesn't throw in the towel. It was cinema. We're in the cinema era. This is what we're doing now.
Well, the part that I loved the most about it was Gunther declared himself for the King of the Ring, and Xavier came down and was doing his whole like usurper, because he is in his mind still the King of the Ring until a new one is crowned. He's defending his title as king, and Kofi's hyping him up, and yeah, no, it was good shit.
But Xavier Woods isn't in any of the first round matches.
So he's not going to be a king, period, after that.
No,
unless
the winner
they
should
just
have to defeat.
him on SmackDown.
I was going to say, the winner of the tournament should have to face Xavier Woods to be King of the Ring. You should have to beat last year's King of the Ring to become the new king.
I agree. Just like in every single Pokemon video game, you have to beat all the gym leaders, then the Elite Four, and then you have to beat the champion, the previous champion. Exactly. You got to be the. As a man that I don't like to reference anymore, he does have a good saying: "You got to beat it to be the man. You have to beat the man." So, in this case, to be the king, you have to beat the king.
I thought it was to be a man, you have to beat off a man. Is that not?
Oh, that's a different one. That's another
Okay.
one.
I
Not
think
wrong.
I think I watched the wrong promo.
No, you're right. You
always
watched
watch the wrong
one.
promo.
Vince, spit or swallow?
Let me look at my list real quick.
I'm also
I'm
regretting
gonna
my
go
teenage
to-
years now.
I'm gonna go over to SmackDown and I'm gonna swallow Paul Heyman accidentally revealing to Nick Aldis that he actually hasn't spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania, and that technically he's not in control of the bloodline. Everyone is just like doing whatever the fuck they want, and he's just afraid for his life. And that Roman didn't actually withdrew his name from the draft. Paul Heyman did it to just like prevent him from seeing all the chaos that's happening with the bloodline. So that story beat to me was a small little like backstage segment, but it was so monumental in the story that they're telling with the bloodline, at least this version of the bloodline.
Well. So I am spitting Paul Heyman's weak pullout game.
Okay, fair enough. If you're gonna smack it raw, you have to pull out.
Listen, if you're gonna smack it raw, you've got to pull out. But Paul Heyman's
That's the logo of the is that the fucking like
that's the slogan. Just do it. It's like for us, it's like you got to pull out if you're gonna smack it raw.
I'm going to say this again for a bullet point and/or title. Paul Heyman's weak pullout game, because not only did he, like you said, Vince, he admitted that he didn't convince Roman to pull out; he just pulled Roman out, right? But then he tried to convince Randy and KO to pull out, and he couldn't convince them to pull out. He couldn't get them to pull out. His pullout game is weak. You can't get anyone to pull out.
So technically, he didn't get Roman to pull out. He just kind of said he pulled out, and Roman is just kind of living his best life, probably on the beach somewhere. And
you ever know a guy who said he pulled out and he didn't pull out?
Say what?
You ever know a guy who said he pulled out but he didn't pull out?
I don't know if this is a trick question or not, so I'm just gonna plead the fifth here in case it's a setup.
I'm assuming you're that guy now, Vince. So okay.
No, we know too much information about this guy.
No, I'm just Paul Heyman's got a weak pullout game, and
he's got great facials.
That he does have great facials. Paul gives great facials, terrible pullout game. Nick tells Paul to try and get Randy and KO to pull out. To pull Randy and KO out himself on the RKO show. He shows up, tries to convince him to pull out because he's telling him this fight is different. It's, with Roman, he was defending his title and he had to do what he had to do. But these other guys, and Randy goes, "Hey, Paul, who is the tribal chief?" And Paul's just like,
that's none of your goddamn business.
Put me in a real tough spot here. And luckily, Solo and Tama come in and start attacking KO and Randy, and we get a brawl that lasts from the beginning of the show all the way to the end of the show, and then on to fucking tonight, this morning. No, it was good shit. Big swallow for me. I'm swallowing Paul Heyman's weak pullout game. No pause.
I'm swallowing it too, because even though it's an issue for him, it's entertainment for us to see a man struggle to pull out.
Is it?
Oh, it is. It is. That's why I have mirrors. Never mind.
I gotta go. I can't. This is too much. I guess.
All right, look, I'm gonna follow Vince's lead. I'm gonna stick on SmackDown. I'm gonna swallow Bobby Lashley.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Trying to give Carmelo Hayes some friendly advice, offer him like a little bit of a mentorship, and Melo just getting cocky and running his mouth. He's like, "I was a first-round draft pick. I was in the ring with the champion my first night on the show." Bobby's like, "Listen, it's not about how many shots you take. It's about which shots you take, or shooting the right shots or something like that." And he goes, "When was the last time you shot any shots, Bobby?"
Ooh. Oh, man.
And then Bobby stops him and he's like, "You should be careful who the fuck you disrespect around here." that whole thing.
Around here, around these parts.
Because Bobby came and talked to Mello and Trick at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were like, oh, maybe Mello's going to join the Pride, blah, 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 blah. Now his confidence is high. He was a first-round draft pick, and he is going to dig himself a fucking hole that he can't get out of.
I'm so looking forward to seeing a possible Bobby Lashley versus Carmelo Hayes match. And I, like you, Matt, am swallowing Bobby Lashley coming to talk to Carmelo Hayes. I thought it was a good little backstage segment. SmackDown hit it with the backstage stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Any thoughts on your boy Carmelo Hayes, Katie, and his new attitude?
He's a cocky son of a bitch. I have been saying it. But 9 times out of 10, he can back it up. I do really want to see him versus Big Bob, though. It will be great. Very excited.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a good match. For sure.
Katie, spit or swallow?
Hold on. Where am I here? I'm gonna go AEW because there was no collision, so it was just Dynamite and Rampage.
That was smart of them.
Well, they didn't really get it. It's May the 4th be with you. TNT and TBS said, "Fuck you, Star Wars."
Star Wars.
You don't get a show this week, so that's why. But I'm going to swallow Adam Copeland taking on Buddy Matthews. Yeah, that was Dynamite, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
they did them back to back, so I don't know. It was a fantastic match, and now Copeland is kind of starting to feel the effects, possibly maybe, of getting misted at Dynasty, because he wanted to. Good job. He wanted to give Buddy a concerto and then stopped himself, and then Malachi appears and is like, "Do it," and he still doesn't do it. But like, it's the mind tricks. I'm about it. If it leads to Malachi getting the title, I'm not gonna be mad. I know you're not happy with it. Just let me have this.
No. Like, I want them to tell the story better because hopefully, obviously, it is leading towards Malachi Black versus Edge for the TNT title. But the way it feels like now is it's just going to be Malachi Black sending other people to wrestle Adam Copeland and then show up to fuck with him. And I don't know that we're going to get. I hope we get that match. I hope that's where it goes. I hope it's not just an endless stream of like Malachi popping up for months and, you know, random episodes of Dynamite or Collision to fuck with Edge. And then 6 months from now, we get the match. Like,
I don't think. Listen, hopefully he
How
can drop on
often
his
does
head,
he get-
knock some sense into there. Good.
How often does he get singles matches on Dynamite?
Not often.
Exactly.
Never.
Until I see him consistently being booked as a singles act and not just like a tag or trios wrestler, like, I don't think they're gonna successfully
Actually,
execute
I
this.
think it'd be a fantastic idea if so next week it's Brody versus Copeland, which makes sense. You have one, you have the other. At Double or Nothing, you have Malachi beat Copeland and make it a fucking Freebirds rule that any of them can fucking defend the title. If you're not going to give them the trios titles back, because clearly there is nothing in that trios division, let Malachi be like the champion. I watched people defend titles that weren't even theirs in promotions, so I think this should be allowed. You know?
No.
I feel like that we're
watched
just doing the Christian Luchasaurus thing.
Yeah.
I watched Stevie Richards wrestle a match to defend Raven's title twice. This man did that shit twice, and he wasn't the champion.
I know. I also watched Randy Orton defend Booker T's United States championship from Redacted in the best out of 7 series because Booker T got injured.
Which is just them stealing the same thing that they did in WCW, where Booker and Redacted wrestled the best of 7 series, and then Booker got injured by Bret Hart, and they had Stevie Ray come out and defend his title for him non-consensually. But you know that if you watch Return to Wrestling.
Wrestlers defending another wrestler's title for them will forever be like a pet peeve of mine in wrestling, and I will never get behind it. So, no.
Well, I just want House of Black to be fucking champions, and if that's the way I get it, then I get it.
You know how they become champions? Drafting them over to NXT or Raw or SmackDown. You draft them over to Impact, Aleister Black would be world champion like tomorrow. Like they'll put this title on him right away.
I would love that. Do I even have that? So, what do I have here? Kenny, Zoe, Christian. Explaining. Oh, okay. The one highlight I did have that was a swallow, and what you're talking about is, I was home Wednesday with Zoe. She was sick. I ended up calling into work because she was sick, and Kate, it's like the one day a month she had to work in the office. So I had to stay home and watch Dynamite with Zoe. And Zoe was watching the segment, and when the lights went out and Malachi Black appeared and then went out and disappeared, she goes, "Daddy, where'd he go?" And I had to explain to her why he disappeared. So that was fun for me. So that was a swallow.
It's magic is what it is. I mean, I don't know what the rest of the tell her.
Sorcery is witchcraft. So Julia Hart's doing.
Vince, spit or swallow. Julia Hart's gone.
Injured.
Not in our draft. She's not. Not in our draft. She's not. She got a sense of being. Let's mosey on over down to NXT, shall we? And give some flowers to a person I don't normally give positive feedback to, and that's Natalya. She had a fantastic showing with Lola Vice in NXT Underground in the main event, the first ever women's NXT Underground match. Fucking fantastic. It was a great fucking match. That was the most invested I've been in Natalya probably from the moment she debuted. I liked it. It was fantastic. Just keep her in NXT. I said this in the past. I'll continue to say this. Keep her away from the main roster. Leave her in NXT. That's a nice little spot for her. She did great. Great match. Everything was fantastic.
I feel like I watched a different match than anyone else because I heard a bunch of people praising this, right? All I saw was a woman who should be putting over young new talent, basically putting young new talent in a position where Shayna Baszler had to repeatedly come in and save her until she could squeak out a win. And I was not a fan of that. Lola is an MMA fighter from Bellator, I believe. Natalya is Natalya Neidhart. This MMA fighter should have been fucking Natty up for most of that match. She shouldn't have needed Shayna to come and save her. She shouldn't have been beating up both Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice almost simultaneously. Carmen Petrovich didn't even do shit except get choked out ringside so Natty let go of the hold. I didn't like any of this, and I was hyped for it. I wanted this, and I didn't like what they gave me. It was a spit for me.
Natty and Lola, I thought they had good chemistry. I liked what they were doing. Like, yeah, would you have liked to see Lola be a little bit more dominant? Sure. But it wasn't terrible. I liked that. I enjoyed it. I'm not like harping too much on the Shayna stuff, even though in the moment it did bother me. But now it's just like it's so like minor that I don't care as much as I did when I watched it on Tuesday.
Natalya beating up two trained MMA fighters in the middle of a ring with no ropes bothered the fuck out of me. Because it's Natalya.
Katie, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like Shayna played a good part on the outside. And yeah, there are no rules, so yeah, she's gonna get involved if Lola was looking a little rough. But I mean, I do agree with Matt. Lola should have been kicking Natty's ass from the jump because trained fighter. I don't care if you have Carmen Petrovitz, who was also trained. I don't know what exactly she's trained in. I know MMA, but it's different. The best part was Shayna choking out Carmen, just sneaking up behind her and just appearing like the memes and choking her out.
You know what I wanted? I wanted a CM Punk moment. I wanted them to get in the ring and her to get knocked the fuck out like CM Punk did. That's what I wanted.
That'd be kind of funny.
I thought you were going to say Ronda Rousey moment because she got knocked out worse than Punk, I think.
Yeah, but she was a trained MMA fighter who had like a huge fucking win record and was a champion. CM Punk was a wrestler who went in and trained and got ready and then got beat by somebody very decisively. And then did it again and got beat very decisively. That's kind of what I wanted to see. Because outside of, you know, all of the charisma and talent that he has on the microphone, in like the most base sense, they're both trained professional wrestlers who grew up in wrestling. There's not that big of a difference, even in age, between Natalya and CM Punk.
Yeah.
So that's just what I wanted, and I didn't get it, and I didn't like it, so I'm spitting it. But I do respect that you enjoyed it. I saw a lot of people enjoyed it. I'm glad a lot of people were happy and hyped about it. I didn't get what I wanted. And when I don't get what I want, I spit.
Fair enough.
Let's go to AEW Dynamite. I'm going to swallow the fact that they told me that Chuck Taylor can never wrestle again, and that Trent had the audacity to go out there and tell Orange Cassidy that he is selfish and all of this is his fault. That none of this would have happened if he wasn't a selfish piece of shit. And I'm just a little sad. I thought Stat was going to turn there when she was holding OC back. I would have loved it if it was just Trent and Stat going off, having sex in Trent's mom's van. Like, it would have been a great time.
Not Suzanne.
Oh my God.
Well, not Suzanne, her van. Suzanne's van.
I said Suzanne.
Oh, it sounded like you said Suzanne.
It sounded like you said not Suzanne.
I said van. Suzanne.
Yeah, no, that. I enjoy. I told you. I've said for a very long. Rocky Romero's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out." Like, I want nothing to do with any of this.
As he should.
Me and my eye patch. Like, I can only see one person at a time anyway. I can't listen to deal with all this fighting. I've said that Trent is the only part that I like. I liked OC. I liked Orange Cassidy, but I liked him when he was doing the gimmick, and he hasn't really run the gimmick for a while.
Yeah,
and I'm not really feeling just professional wrestler Orange Cassidy. The gimmick is what sold me, and I would have liked him to keep that. So Trent's really the only one that I fucked with out of the best friends besides Stat. I never fucked with Chuck Taylor. And they're like, Chuck Taylor can never wrestle again, which I'm sure is just kayfabe bullshit, but like, it made me happy.
Well, yeah, heel Trent's the fucking best. This is what I wanted.
Maybe he'll come back with some actual Chuck Taylors, and then I'll stop talking shit about him.
The only thing I didn't like about this was what the fuck is Don Callis doing? Nobody asked for his opinion in this.
Orange Cassidy left with them, so apparently he's recruiting for the family. Hobbs is down. They need another big meaty man, so he went to Orange Cassidy because
it's the complete opposite of a big meaty man, but okay.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of me on those phones.
Hobbs is out. Kyle Fletcher's getting basically done with Callis' bullshit. Osprey's like, I don't really like you, but I'm just gonna stay here for like a hot minute or two. The family in Don Callis' family, to be exact, they're gone. He has no family.
Well, he's got to rebuild, right?
No. Or, hear me out, no.
Fair. I'll give you that. Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow the women's North American title scene, I guess, in NXT. So like Ava came out and was like, "All right, fuckers,
Combine.
here's what's gonna happen." What?
It's a combine. They kept saying combine. I'm in the combine.
That's what I was getting to.
Okay.
She came out. She said, "Bitches, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have a combine. Top 12 people in the combine get to like have matches, and then the 6 people who win those matches will be in a fucking ladder match for crowning the first ever North American Women's Champion, which is exactly what they did with the first North American title, which Adam Cole won. Shout out. So then, all ladies start coming out, talking their shit. Jada Parker, Sol Ruka, Ariana Grace, bless her soul, doing her best.
Listen, Ariana Grace was fan-fucking-tastic, all right? She wanted to settle
I didn't say
this
she wasn't.
the way it should be settled, non-violently. Why does everything have to be a fucking fight?
Ava literally tweeted at her, like, do I have to remind you that you are a wrestler? Or, like, so those 3, and then Michin throws her hat in the ring, and then Ariana's like, actually, you don't go here, so that's not allowed. Cue chaos. Every woman from the back pours into the ring, and we have a nice little brawl session. I'm about it. I can't wait to see who the 6 are.
And
or the 12 in
Ariana
the combine
tries
of
to
those 6.
stop the chaos. She tries to stop the fighting. It was great.
Can't we all just get along? No, we can't.
I think the only thing I really popped about that was just Michin showing up and her being in the NXT. I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. She might get actually used in the roster for once. But outside of that, I didn't really care about the whole combine stuff. I just want to get to the ladder match because the combine stuff, like, does it really matter? They are going to select who's going to win. It's not like they're going to have like a series of matches, like, or are they going to have the combine?
12 women are the top 12 women in the combine, and then there will be matches, and then the 6 people who win their respective matches go to the ladder match.
I remember now. Yeah, you're right. Combine, don't care. Come back to me when they get to the actual wrestling. I'm here to watch wrestling. I'm not here to watch combines. If I did, I'd get to the NBA. And
Battle Royale's not even until June. What do you want them to do? Like,
not announce anything. Not announce it so soon. Then wait until you get closer to them.
No, this was perfect, and they're actually gonna like build to it and use it.
I could be proven wrong, but the combine thing just kind of sounds kind of boring and lame. That's why I just kind of sat back.
Getting to see women show off their strength, their speed, their agility sounds like a fantastic time.
I remember this one time where Bayley wanted to challenge Bianca to like a test of athleticism that is fondly looked upon as Bianca picking up Otis and carrying him across the line and dunking on Bayley and all sorts of fun shit. So like, if we're going to get fun skits with women showing off their talents in various ways, seeing as a lot of these women are NIL athletes and have skills in other ways, shapes, or forms, I'm all fucking for it.
Like I said, I'll reserve judgment for it, and it's not necessarily just the women showing off their athleticism. If it was like the men's being determined this way, I'd still feel the same way. It's just like, if it gets treated like a legit combine, like shit you saw in like Tough Enough or whatever, I'm like, I don't really care about this. I don't really want to watch this. And I feel like they'd be completely going in the wrong direction with it. But they do interesting stuff like Bianca picking up Otis. Sure, it could be fun to watch.
Okay. Well, Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm going to stay at NXT. I'm going to swallow the early return from injury from Wes Lee confronting the current NXT champion, Obafemi. I did not expect to hear Wes Lee's music hit, and I fucking popped. I was like, no way. Is he really here? He showed up. He showed off that he looked 100% healthy when he took that leap from the barricade to the ring steps. Here's the thing. I don't really care at this point if this man like becomes like a top champion, I'm just happy to see him healthy and wrestling again, because I've genuinely loved that man as a person, and I just want to see him
Not enough to draft him.
I completely forgot. Why are you spoiling results before the stuff gets aired?
All we've talked about is one of my draft picks and one person you didn't draft.
You also mentioned drafting Sheamus first, and then you also mentioned about not drafting Latinos in the Getcho draft. So like,
that's not a spoiler. That is out for people to listen to and has been out. I got to it and I didn't even have time to get to it.
Doesn't this technically drop tomorrow anyways?
Not technically tomorrow, no, because I have to see if I have time to edit it and upload it. So it's either going to get uploaded on Cinco de Mayo or it's going to get uploaded Monday.
Because you said Friday or Cinco de Mayo when you plugged it. And it
I know.
on Friday, so I feel like tomorrow it has to drop because that was the time frame you gave.
It could, but I'm busy tomorrow, so depending on how it goes.
Matt's Shitty Kids. Remember Matt's Shitty Kids?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was never a fan of that. I prefer it to just disappear. Allison, why you got to bring that up?
Because Matt's Shitty Kids was fucking fantastic.
He was one of Matt's Shitty Kids.
They called themselves MSK, and they decided to associate with Matt Riddle. That is completely on them, Vince. That had nothing to do with anyone but their poor choices in friends. Bad choices in white people to hang out with. Wesley's made that a lot, apparently.
Regardless of the fact, I'm still happy to see him return and him coming back from injury, because it was a bummer. There was a positive in him getting injured. Obviously, Obafemi being NXT North American champion has been a positive. I'm looking forward to that matchup whenever it does happen. So yeah, just swallowing Wesley being back in WWE TV.
Will told her to say it. Also, don't consider it spoilers. Consider it promotion. I am dropping little bits of nuggets for people to be like, okay, well, if Vince didn't draft Wesley, who did he draft instead? Like, they need to go watch and find out. There were 24 rounds. We've talked about 3 people in 24 rounds. 24 times 3 is what, Vince? 72. 72 overall picks. We talked about 3. It's not spoilers. You need to go check.
You did spoil that you drafted the Bloodline, because we're having this whole debate on whether or not you should have additional members of the Bloodline.
That was
again not a spoiler. That is one of the 3 draft picks out of 72. We talked about you not doing Wesley. We talked about Sheamus, and that I was just plugging Vicente because 2 weeks ago I said Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada seemed like the kind of guy that would draft Sheamus round 1. That's what I said. So I was sticking to the gimmick. Because Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada is here today.
Fair enough.
Go watch the show. There's 72 picks. No, I'm glad you're happy Wesley's back. Matt Shitty Kid was doing great before he got hurt. You never, regardless of poor taste in friends, you never want to see anyone hurt. We'll see what he can do. In that North American title scene. He really wants that belt back, and everyone kind of told him to go fuck himself. You haven't been around. There's a line. You need to get to the back of it, including Ivar, which I thought was funny. I guess it's on me. Since we're doing NXT, ladies and gentlemen, I am swallowing reverse cowgirl.
I'm sorry.
Thea defeats JC Jane, leaving her bloodied, getting her revenge. And then Fallon Henley turns on Thea Hale. Thea came up to her. She's like, hey, are you going to be there for me? She goes, I don't know. Things haven't really been going my way. I need to figure my shit out. She goes out there. She attacks. I said it on Twitter. If babyface Fallon is a cowgirl, does that mean a heel turn makes her reverse cowgirl? And I think
that could be a title.
I already
wrote it down. I watch you guys. I know what you're doing. Vince masturbates a lot during the show.
Can't confirm nor deny that.
You can confirm if you'd like. We could ask Melissa. I bet she would confirm it for us. She pretty much
She's
agreed to
not in the
anything I
room.
ask. Allison knows. See, Allison said, yup. I don't know if she's talking about reverse cowgirl or that you masturbating. One of the two, but both, yes.
How would she know? How do you know? How would you know?
Because every time I'm around you, you touch yourself. Anyway, any thoughts on reverse cowgirl?
I didn't actually see her turn. I just saw the aftermath of it. I literally glanced away and I didn't actually see it. I don't care enough. The only thing of note that this kind of just like sparked the conversation on is the fact that Thea Hale just makes poor friend decisions just like Rey Mysterio does. She's 20 years old and she's on that Rey Mysterio path. Will this be a common occurrence in her career?
See, the difference between Thea and Rey is Thea's 20 years old and still learning. Rey Mysterio's been in the business for 20 years.
Also, Thea's asking the wrong person because Rey hasn't fucking figured it out yet. How can you give advice on something you don't know the answer to yourself?
What are you talking about? Advice from
Thea
Rey?
went on Twitter and asked Rey Mysterio why everyone was turning on her. You can't ask Rey that because he doesn't know why everyone turns on him. How can he?
Did he respond to it?
No, because he doesn't know.
Damn. Could have at least given her an IDK. Just be like IDK, bro. I don't know.
Katie, spit or swallow.
Why was there such a long fucking pause?
Because I forgot whose turn it was because Vince was talking, so I thought it was Vince, but I'm like, no, I just went. I had to do mental math. And the mental math on whose turn it is goes a lot slower than the mental math on 3 times 24.
Fair. Ow.
Because I can math some people.
Can't math. It's been proven many a time I can't math. I'm right once in a blue moon. I'm spitting. Which one do I want to spit? That new tag team, Tyson and Tariq, losing to the OC. For what? For what reason? You had 2 weeks of promos for this new dominant looking tag team. Like, those guys are big meaty men. Those are some big men. You know what I'm saying? And you have them lose to the OC, who aren't even on NXT.
Technically, they are.
Technically, they're not.
Did they get drafted?
Lola Vice first match. Yeah, they got drafted over to SmackDown with Michin, but all three of them are
Which
on
means
NXT.
technically they're. Anyway. Anyway, not gonna say anything about that. There's no point in a new tag team debuting to lose to a team that's not even on the roster.
A new tag team debuting or any wrestler debuting, period, just to lose to an established wrestler currently, like of the status of the Good Brothers, or at least their current status within WWE, is just kind of baffling. Like, you did hype them up. Like, what was the whole point? The only thing I can compare this to, and I can't remember the fucking dude's name, but for maybe 4 or 6 weeks, NXT kept promoting this new wrestler that was going to show up, and he's he's this dominant wrestler, whatever. He was getting a major high package treatment. He was just a bald white dude with no facial hair, so he didn't even have that going for him. And then he makes his entrance, gets completely destroyed and murdered by Samoa Joe. Doesn't retaliate in any way, shape, or form, and then he never shows back up in NXT again. Literally hyped this man up for 4 to 6 weeks just so that Joe can destroy him and Joe can cut a promo afterwards, and they never used Buddy ever again.
eventually Travis and I are going to get to NXT, and I'm going to make a mental note of this so that I can remember it when we get there. Because
You want me to try to look up the name?
Katie's already doing that. While you guys are both looking it up, though, the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, there are tiers to this, right? You know what else there are tiers to? Tiers to patreon.com/Creation World, where for $1, that first tier, you guys get 3 shows. Return to Wrestling with Matt and Travis, where we talk old school WCW. We started with the very first Nitro, and we made our way so far all the way up to Halloween Havoc 1998. Well, I'm sorry, Halloween Havoc 1998 is our next episode. The current one that is available now, Halloween Havoc, will drop this month. But right now, you can go and watch War Games Fall Brawl 1998, featuring the Ultimate Warrior. Also, Travis and I discuss how far along into WCW we're going to go, and it basically sounds like we're just going to watch the whole fucking thing. So there's that. But you guys also get Multiverse with Travis and Mara, where they break down DC animated films. And their latest one was Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, which recently just dropped on Max. So go check that out as well for your $1. That's 2 shows that you get for the same $1. But then we also gave you a third show. We gave you If You Have to Ask. It is me and my wife, Kate, sitting down once a month to read Am I the Asshole post. Her best friend, Danny, joined us for this episode. It is called Dead Dicks and Hate Craps. If you want to know why it's called Dead Dicks and Hate Craps, you need to go pay that $1 and check it out. I mean, I feel like TNA doesn't give you as many shows for $1 as we do, so go pay for the Patreon. And then if you want to support us some more, you got a little bit of extra money to throw our way. You think we're fucking awesome, which you should. You guys can check out the higher tiers, and on those higher tiers, you guys get all sorts of cool shit, you know, including this show ad-free. But if you're watching us live, we have sponsors, and our sponsors are here to tell you about great things. Travis being the sponsor this week to tell you about, well, I mean, Travis always tells you about the sponsors, but just listen to what the fuck he has to say. All right. Okay.
Y'all, I know we're having a lot of fun right now, but I actually want to talk to you about something very important: your health. You see, life is full of twists and turns, and that's why having the right health insurance matters. I want to make sure you have the coverage you need without breaking the bank, and that starts with speaking to me for absolutely no charge. Having health insurance isn't just about doctor visits, though. It's about living a healthier, happier life. Physical health and mental well-being go hand in hand, and that's why the plans I represent cover not just the physical, but the mental aspects of your health as well. And here's the deal. I'm very good at what I do. So not only can I find you the perfect plan, but I might even be able to get you one for free. That's right, free advice and a free plan. Your health is too important to compromise. So let's chat, find the right plan, and ensure your well-being. Just visit health.creationworld.com today to schedule a free consultation. The link is right here in the description. That's health.creationworld.com. Your health, your future.
And we're back. Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada.
Yes. Neither. I'm gonna gargle because I want to see where this angle goes before I choose to spit or swallow it. And we saw last week that there was a brief face-to-face between Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. This week, in the backstage segment, if you caught it in the background while it was I don't really remember who was being interviewed because I don't really care. Liv Morgan leaves the locker room. Not even 10 seconds later, Dominic Mysterio leaves the same locker room she did. They're teasing that this man might have found a new mommy or has a step mommy or something. Liv Morgan's revenge tour apparently is going in a different avenue to try to hurt Rhea Ripley. She took Rhea Ripley out. Now she's taking her man, quote unquote. I don't know where they're going to go with this. It feels like Judgment Day's a little bit in limbo right now, especially with Damian Priest just kind of like, don't get in my business. Like, you handle your own business. Like, I don't need Judgment Day. And then now Dom kind of like taking liberties and stuff. I don't know where they're going. I'm going to gargle it right now. I will say that it did have me intrigued, and that was probably the biggest talking point for my my personal self was Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan both leaving the same locker room. What were they doing? Quickies? I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Mommy basically did her own shit as champion, and it worked out really well for her for a very long time without the rest of Judgment Day getting involved in her shit. So maybe Damien's like, I'm just following the blueprint of the leader of Judgment Day.
Yeah, fair points. I don't know. It feels different though. I'm still like, I'm very cautious to what they're going to do. I feel like they're going to slowly like get Damian Priest out of Judgment Day, and Judgment Day is going to look completely different by the time Rhea comes back, or they might not be a Judgment Day for Rhea to come back to. The way things are going right now.
And that shit.
I hope the family all just separate.
Hold on. First and foremost, Rhea's out injured. She's never really needed the Judgment Day. Her and Dom were fun together. That whole thing can still be a thing. That was the best part of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest has won the title. He is far better off now than he ever was as part of the Judgment Day, holding Money in the Bank, not doing shit. We talked about his lack of momentum. And if we're being honest, JD McDonough and Finn are just kind of ancillary characters and a couple of fuck-ups that have no real value. So, like, yeah, break them up. Let Dom be in the story with Liv and Rhea. Let Damian go on to do his own thing and get rid of the two white guys that probably shouldn't be there anyway. I don't understand the problem.
I don't understand your problem with it. I think they've worked perfectly well together. They succeeded perfectly fine. I thought it was all working fantastically. I'm just worried. That's all. I'm just kind of worried that they're gonna like have no more Judgment Day. I don't care what you or others may dislike about Judgment Day. I fucking love Judgment Day. Jesus loves Judgment Day. Most of my friends, family members like Judgment Day. I feel like we might be in a bubble, but I like this bubble we're in, and we just don't want change. So it's a gargle. We'll see what happens with Dom and Liv tomorrow.
What's on your mind, Katie?
Hmm?
You look like you had something on your mind.
Oh, I said like 2 weeks ago that Dom's gonna fold quick as fuck with Liv because, I mean, look at her.
I would.
I would. Any lesser man would do. Liv,
I honestly don't think Kate would be mad at me either because Kate finds Liv hot too. So, like,
there you go.
You guys want to know a little fun fact?
Sure.
Melissa does not find Liv attractive whatsoever. And she would murder me if I were to fold, which I wouldn't. If the options are Rhea and Liv, I wouldn't fold. Period.
So you're a better man than Dominic Mysterio, is what you're saying. Which is probably why he got drafted away from your delegation, the Delgado delegation.
Why do you got to bring up the past, man?
Because I'm fun.
It's in the past.
You brought up stepmommy. We'll stay on step parents. Step parent porn is very popular in both wrestling and on the porn world. Stepdaddy Christian on AEW stepping up for his stepson Nick Wayne, because Nick Wayne's real dad never did after Swerve showed up and beat his ass. So Christian had to. Now listen, that's semantics.
His father is no longer on this earth. Obviously, he couldn't have been there.
I would crawl out of my grave to fuck somebody up for Zoe. Just saying.
The love for a man's daughter might be different than the love for a man's son.
Real parents love all their kids the same. Especially since I only have one, so it makes it really easy. Christian is the dad that stepped up for Nick Wayne against Swerve since Nick's real dad didn't. And he even said, "I didn't forget what you did to my I didn't forget what you did to my adopted child, and I'm not gonna let that shit slide." And I enjoyed that. Christian is one of those highlights in AEW for me, like one of those big highlights, and I love it.
I feel like ripping out a dread was a tad excessive. Like, fully out of his skull, that was a tad excessive. And I don't think was needed. I think you made your point, Christian. Evil
Did you
dinosaur.
see what they did to Nick Wayne? Did you see how they left him in his father's dojo?
He shouldn't have been talking shit.
Oh, wow. All of a sudden, Swerve is the good guy in that situation now. Revisionist history is crazy.
I barely remember that feud, to be fair. I just remember Nick Wayne getting the shit beat out of him. I don't even remember the context.
Yeah, no, Nick Wayne just existed, and he was friends with AR Fox. And then Swerve and AR Fox just went over there and fucked him up so that AR Fox could change teams. And then AR Fox got dropped by Swerve after they fucked up Nick Wayne. He was just an innocent little boy hanging out in his dad's dojo, training to wrestle, trying to get a contract. And they beat the shit out of him for no reason.
I think he already had a contract, A, and B, he's fine.
She said
look where
he
he is
should have
now.
been talking shit.
And look where he is now.
I didn't recall any of that until you started describing the segment, and I'm like, oh, I remember that shit. That shit was funny. That shit was funny. That was the first time I ever even heard of Nick Wayne.
So yeah.
Okay.
Swallowing right. Stepdaddies stepping up. Katie, spit or swallow?
This might be controversial.
I didn't take the low-hanging fruit.
Thank you. You've been good at that. I'm very proud of you. I would have made my own joke, but I just don't care. Controversial, possibly to some people. I'm swallowing the EVP takeover of AEW Dynamite. These little fuckers, Mathematics, Nickelback, Jackson. They said, "Oh, well, Tony Khan can't be here." He tried to zoom in, from his Jacksonville office because he's not allowed to leave because his neck. Oh, poor baby. Fuck off. You're fine. So they said, it's our show now, bitch. They made Christian the number one contender for Swerve title because, rankings aren't real. They made they banned Stat and Stokely from Willow's match on Rampage. And then Kenny comes back because, they're in Winnipeg. It's Kenny's place. Kenny shows up. He's like, yeah, I probably could. I was gonna die. They said I shouldn't be here. I could have a colostomy bag for the rest of my life. It was just going on and on. And then Okada comes out and he's like, I'm the best in the world now, bitch. Basically what he said.
Wow.
Jungle Man comes out. They attack him. The EVPs are like, oh no, guys, don't do that. Not to Kenny, our best friend. No. EVP trigger to Kenny. There's a lot of chair shots to the stomach, and then and then FTR, both, Fear the Revolver and the bald one, they made the save. Bled into Rampage, by the way, which fucked up my recording, and I was very mad about because I had to watch the season finale of Chucky because fuck Rampage. Matt gets it. Matt understands.
Priorities.
And exactly what I said to Will because he tagged me in something. I was like, priorities are happening right now. I'll watch it later. FTR make the save. They try and wheel Kenny out in an ambulance, and EVP said, psych, and fuck him up again. I think this is funny. I'm just waiting for the cowboy to come home. I'm in. They got me hooked. I think it's funny.
So them attacking Tony Khan is when things started to turn in the positive direction for this whole EVP, Mathematics, and Nickelback Jackson era that they're in. They added Okada, then they added Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And then as much as everything was fine and entertaining, I like the beginning, the intro part that Katie was talking about, where essentially they took over the show. I thought that made sense. It felt very DX or NWO which I like because they really played into that kind of narratives and storytelling and doing that in gimmicks when they were in Bullet Club, which is one of the reasons why they were cool in Bullet Club, because they were essentially what Will calls them anime DX, but NWO aesthetics. I'm gonna just spit Kenny Omega showing up because he technically wasn't ready to show back up, and he was kind of almost forced to do so because the arena promoted him whether that was by fault of the arena or AEW themselves, then they started promoting Kenny Omega, and Kenny was like, "Oh, I guess I'm coming back. I guess." Like, I had no fucking idea. He had family members message him and tell him, like, "Oh, you're coming back. You're making your return." It's like, where did you see that? It's like, "Oh, there's a big billboard or whatever outside the arena, and like there's signs and stuff in Winnipeg." So I'm spinning them bringing Kenny in just for this angle where I think they would have been just perfectly fine without having Kenny there. Let them in heel.
After beating up Kenny in Winnipeg, would we consider the Young Bucks Winnipeggers?
Yes.
Did Kenny get pegged in Winnipeg?
Close enough.
Winnipegging. I don't know. We should ask our fellow Winnipeggers and see what they think.
Well, also shout out to our friends over at Powerbomb Jutsu, because Dom let us know that diverticulitis is something you can cure with a proper change of diet and some antibiotics. It's not like something that you need surgery for. He works in the field, and it's not like as life-threatening, I guess, or career-ending, I should say, as Kenny made it sound. However, I'm also swallowing this segment plainly because for the first time, how long has AEW been in business?
About 5 years.
The first time in 5 years, AEW has made me actually kind of sort of like and give a fuck about Kenny Omega. I may have softened on him a little bit when he like went on the show and he was like, "Yeah, no, I talked to CM Punk. We squashed our shit. It is what it is. I got no problem with CM Punk. He's got no problem with me," and kind of slighted the Jacksons a little bit for being children.
Which is ironic because the Jacksons were the one that were like petitioning to bring him in out of retirement and into AEW, which is ironic.
I agree, but he finally won me over. All it took was a life-threatening illness, calling the Bucks
shitbags,
getting beat down, shitbags, and getting beat down 4v1 by the Elite. I saw a lot of people talking about FTR making the save and blah blah blah. Listen, they're the fucking tag team. They hate the Bucks. Like Kenny turned babyface. I shut the fuck up. It was fine. Also, I'm weird because I don't get I feel like we could do this with anybody. Like, yes, Jack Perry has a specific role, but I don't feel like it needs to be Mathematics and Nickelback. We could have put any tag team here and it would have worked out the same, minus obviously their relationship to Kenny and blah, blah, blah. But I don't feel like they're adding anything to this in retrospect of who they are. I feel like any tag team could have done the DX role and taken over the show, beat up Tony Khan, blah, blah, blah. Would have been the same shit. For me personally. I don't give a fuck about the Young Bucks. I don't. I never have. They cannot make me.
It depends on the tag team.
They can't make me.
For instance, you can't sit there and be like, "Oh, you put the Acclaimed in there and it would have been the same effect." I don't know. It worked for them specifically. It worked very
because
well.
They're EVPs. But I'm saying the characters of the Young Bucks themselves are not adding to this. If any other tag team on that roster were EVPs, they could have been put in this role and delivered the exact same results, and it would have worked.
I respectfully disagree, but I'll let you have your opinion on it because I don't think you're necessarily wrong. But I'm just it's a fair and valid argument that you're making. I just don't think you're correct in it. I see it completely different. I think them being the Bucks, being who they were, just obviously it's different because I saw their work when they were being these kind of characters in Bullet Club, doing the fourth wall breaks, doing the DX chopping, doing the too sweeting NWO. That's what they added when they were actually cool, is that they combined the cool aspects of the NWO and D-Generation X into the Bullet Club, which was one of the reasons why a lot of people in the States here got really into Bullet Club because of their YouTube show being the Elite. And then since then, there's been other wrestlers and other content creators doing similar things. All the
best members of the Bullet Club are in WWE.
Not all of them, but
yep. All of them.
Not all of them. Not all the past members.
I didn't say past. I said best. All the
best members of the Bullet Club aren't in WWE. We'll save it for the post show, but let's run down the best members of Bullet Club and see who's actually in Bullet Club. But we'll save that for later.
Yes, Katie.
Do you think we should probably move on to Backlash?
Well, I was gonna give everyone one more, and then we'd smash or pass because it's a small pay per view. It's only 5 matches.
Okay. Oh, this is my last one. Anyways, I'm spitting as much as I love the man. And as much as I like wearing his merch, I'm spitting the whole CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, like playing tag with each other thing. I thought it was just kind of, I don't know. I just didn't hit. It didn't resonate with me. I'm just like, what was the point of like Punk be like, oh, you who Drew, I'm up here. You want to fight me? I'm all the way up here. Drew finally finds him. He's like, where's the son of a bitch? It's like, ha, got you. I'm actually down here now. It's like,
was Drew stupid?
It's mind games.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was funny.
Waving a red flag in front of a bull. Toro.
I don't know. I just feel like there are better ways to like wave a red flag in front of a bull, like giving them a tainted burrito and just taking away all the toilet paper in the stall and then kicking the stall door down. I think that would have been a better avenue to go with. But you know.
Listen, I love that Drew was pissed off that CM Punk got drafted before him in round 3. I love that Drew McIntyre came out and said CM Punk fractured my elbow, but I showed up because real men wear kilts. Punk's in the skybox, calls Drew a little bitch. Drew runs up there. Ron Simmons gives us the damn. Once Drew gets to the skybox, Punk ends up in the ring talking all the shit. Punk got drafted first because he's the best in the world. He doesn't pray. He makes things happen. And when he's healed, he's going to make Drew's life a living hell. I enjoyed the whole thing. I love
But then it's also a point that was raised. It's like, for a man that doesn't believe in prayer, why are you so mad that a man prayed for your demise? If you're such a big atheist and you don't believe in prayer, them praying is irrelevant.
No, because I also said it to Powerbomb Jutsu. That's not, I don't understand how you guys got that out of that segment at all in any way, shape, or form. He literally said, you prayed, I don't pray, I do things. That is he made an atheist statement. I don't pray for shit. I make shit happen. That is the most atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in prayer. I make shit happen on my own. That is what he said.
I don't think
you had to pray to hurt me. I just went out and did it to you. I didn't need prayer.
I don't think there was anything like consequential that happened. Like, sure, like the whole jarring back and forth.
Yet. What are they gonna do? Send Drew out there to fucking kick him in the face when he's not ready to go yet? He's not cleared.
No, you're right. They wouldn't pull a Tony Khan and bring in a wrestler that isn't cleared just to get a tag to further an angle. They wouldn't do that. So you're right. They definitely better in that aspects. I just didn't like the whole like tag you're it thing that they did. Because it's like you're calling Drew a little bitch, but you're the one in the skybox being a little bitch. It's like, I'm sorry.
No, he was playing the smart game. He knew Drew would come and find him. He said, just kidding. I'm going to make this man run all the way around the building for fun. And then I'm going to sit in the ring and I'm going to talk my shit for his entire title reign. And he did it in less time than Drew was even champion. So, like, I'm not even the biggest CM Punk guy. And I was all about this. I love this fucking feud they have.
I love how you're like, I didn't like this while wearing a CM Punk shirt.
I didn't. That's why I said I like wearing the guy's merch and stuff, but I didn't like the segments. I thought it was lame. Also, somehow Melissa found like a TikTok or an Instagram reel of someone photoshopping Rhea Ripley giving Roman Reigns a kiss. Can't really see it because of the glare, unfortunately. But yeah, so Rhea Ripley kissing Roman Reigns. So.
These people have too much fucking time on their hands and they're weird.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Because mind you, we still have like 25 minutes. Do you want Trick and Lash?
25 minutes.
Should I leave it for you?
Of course I
Okay.
want Trick and Lash.
Well, then I don't know what I want to do because, like, I was gonna swallow the fact that Rey Mysterio talked about Dom's facial hair and called it a dirty Sanchez. I was gonna, spit Chris Jericho versus Ciabatta bread because the learning tree is stupid and Chris Jericho looks terrible in trunks.
And Ciabatta should have
but
lost.
I don't think we've given enough love to the women, so I'm going to swallow Mariah May versus Serena Deeb with Toni Storm throwing in the towel to save Mariah from Serena Deeb. It makes her challenger look strong. It plays off of the affection for Toni and Mariah that they have in this weird little lesbian love triangle thing that's going on. And dude, bosom thing, big fan.
I know it's your favorite. I know it's your favorite.
No surprise. Serena Deeb's fucking fantastic. Mariah May's a great wrestler. Toni Storm is motherfucking Toni Storm, swallowing everything. Mariah Deeb Storm. Also, fuck Chris Jericho, the learning tree, and his stupid fucking shorts. He's never looked good in trunks.
Yeah. Especially now that he looks like a 50-year-old woman named Karen, but like.
Katie, spit or swallow.
So, like, I could do the Manitoba Massacre or whatever the fuck they called the street fight between Will and Sky Blue, which I only got part of because, again, my recording fucked up because the Elite take forever. But I saw things about it, and I know that was a really good match. And there was, like, a table of barbed wire, and Willow's a beast. But my main thing here is I'm swallowing Trick Williams and Lash Legend because, god damn it, I love this. I don't know what the fuck's in the envelope. Let me backtrack. Let me compose myself. So Trick comes out. He's like, "Listen, I'm an NXT champion now. Like, this is my show." Gives props to Dragunov as he should, because Dragunov did hold that shit down for a while. And then out comes Lash Legend looking like a goddess. I'm talking Hercules goddess. Beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. And obviously their sexual tension is through the fucking roof. Obviously because they're dating. And she has an envelope in her hand, and we don't get to find out what the envelope is until next week. But they're alluding to something that would be, I don't know exactly what that would be.
The NXT crowd thought she was pregnant.
Yeah, and they were like,
I thought it was
Daddy, and he said, "Excuse me." He was looking at them like, "The fuck y'all talking about?" There was like sexual innuendos about Kit Kats and Reese cups. It was a whole. I'll let Matt explain that a little better. All of that was fantastic. She was basically saying the envelope is going to contain something that will change Trick's mind on holding the NXT title and being like the face and everything like that.
Okay.
Did Noam Dar like rub his crotch against it or something? Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Like pictures of a naked Noam Dar whipping his dick on the title. That's where my mind went.
I don't think that's it.
Vince, why are you always thinking about naked white men?
Because I can't think of you all the time, so I gotta.
Yes, you can. You actually can think of me all the time. You can think of me when you're in bed with Melissa. You can think of me when you're browsing Pornhub. You can think of me all the time. I'm actually okay with it. I'm secure in my masculinity. If you want to think about me naked, think about me naked. Now, Lash was thinking about Trick naked, or at least that's what Trick thought, because he said, "You want me to take off this belt so you can unwrap me like a Reese's?" She's like, "Actually, I prefer Kit Kats." And he's like, "Well, let me break you off some." Like the whole.
I lost my mind. I was like, "No way!" This shit is top tier.
Fucking fantastic. Loved the entire thing. As you said, she has the truth in the envelope that will send his title reign crashing down. We saw Metaphor outside with the envelope, and they're like, what's in the package? She kept like looking in there. I don't know what the fuck she was looking at. I know they probably can't do it, but like
Life sex celebration?
No, not
That's
life
what it
sex
should have been.
celebration. Okay, hear me out. Hear me
mean-
out.
Okay. Listening.
They cannot do this. They will not do this. It will not be a thing. But what if Lash claims that Trick got her pregnant and in the envelope is a used condom? Because he's champion now?
Why use condom in an envelope? Why not put it like in a Ziploc bag?
I mean, it could be in a Ziploc bag.
Because they're
In the envelope.
on both sides of the argument. There are players, athletes who have taken advantage of their position of power with women. There are also women who saw men in a position of power who have used the condom. They've gone through the trash to grab the condom to try and get themselves knocked up for that money.
That's true.
Again, very, very, very spicy, controversial. We'll never fucking do it. I believe Trick's got a strong pullout game. I think that's why he was looking around at the crowd like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's not Paul Heyman, right? This man knows how to pull out, and he knows how to pull out well.
Well, if there's a used condom, then there's no need to pull out. You have the condom. So,
well, that's where I was going to go. Is Trick's going to be like, that can't be my condom. I don't use condoms. I got a strong pullout game. Anyway, they're not going to do it.
okay.
Not the point.
Okay.
No,
There you go.
not yet.
That's how you. That's
to the
the defense.
CW.
Anyway.
Jesus.
All right. Smash your
DJ.
pass, ladies and gentlemen. Backlash or Backlash, as I put in my notes because I added a K. We kicked it off. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa in what Nick Aldis made a street fight, allowing for the debut of the newest member of Matt Ritter's Raw is Ritter roster, Tangaloa.
I've made the executive decision. You don't get Tangaloa. He wasn't available in the draft pool. You're not getting Tangaloa.
So what you're saying is the show didn't go your way, and I argued with you too much, and now you're being petty. That's what I'm hearing because you said depending on how the show goes, depends on if I get him. So if I had brown nosed you a little bit, if I had looked like Dominic Mysterio with the dirty Sanchez on my lip, maybe I would have got Tangaloa, but I'm not going to stoop to that. I'm just going to tell everyone Tangaloa is on there anyway. He may not be on the graphic, but you guys know what the fuck's up.
He's not. He was not mentioned not once in the episode. I think everybody was expecting a Jacob Fatu, and obviously he might still be right around the corner. Tangaloa was a complete surprise. I was like so shook because I was watching this while I was at work, obviously, because it happened at noon. I don't get out till like 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, so I fucking popped. I was excited. Now I want to see Usos versus GOD.
That's what everybody wants. That's what everyone's been wanting for fucking years, and now we actually have
But
the opportunity.
So here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob is a Fatu. So is Solo, but Solo's kind of, he's been Solo Sikoa. We talked about how Solo didn't need the bloodline and it didn't make sense for him to join. That was a whole thing. You guys can go back like 2 years ago and watch before he showed up with the bloodline. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
So
you guys
if
were against it.
if it's already 3 people, God and Solo, Jay and Jimmy need somebody. Maybe they get their other brother. Maybe they get Jacob, and that's how they even the score. Maybe he's on the other side. Because Roman's probably not coming back for a while. The Rock said he's not coming back for a while, and when he does, he wants Cody Rhodes. He don't give a fuck about this bullshit.
They do have an honorary Us they can turn to.
Not Sami Zayn,
No.
for the love of fucking God. No.
Why'd you guys turn on Sammy so hard? Like,
He shouldn't have dethroned Gunther.
you're just mad it wasn't Chad.
I'm 100% mad it
Exactly.
wasn't Chad.
It should have
You
been
built
Chad.
up Chad Gable, and then you did nothing, and then you did the exact same bullshit with less time with Sammy.
Very,
and then gave it to
very
Sammy.
rarely will you hear Matt Ritter cheer for a white man named Chad. But Chad fucking Gable, baby. Baby Kurt Angle, he's that one Chad. He's my one Chad. Every white guy gets one Chad to like. He's my Chad.
All right, fair.
Smash Tonga. I was kind of disappointed. I wanted to see, after everything that's happened, I kind of wanted to see Tama and Solo really go in there and beat the shit out of Randy and KO. I feel like, especially early on, KO and Randy really dominated. I get it. They're Randy Orton, they're Kevin Owens, but I wanted to like establish them as these fucking people. And the best way to do that is I kind of wanted Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, or Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, that time that Brock came in and busted Randy's head open with his elbow. Where when Brock came back and he was just brutalizing motherfuckers and beating everyone. That's what I wanted. But
I love that he makes his appearances, by the way. Every time.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't show up like in a black hoodie. Mostly all the Bloodline members make a shock appearance in interference. That's how Solo debuted. That's how Jimmy turned. Jay's actually done that before. It's like
Tama was in a black hoodie, wasn't he?
He was the black hooded.
Well, it's because Tonga was under the ring and fucked up his appearance to take the ref out. He was late. The ref pulled himself out.
Was he?
Yeah, so there's a video going around of someone who's like behind commentary. And you can see Tonga, like, he's like a split second too late to like get out from underneath the ring. It's like, man's just got here and he's getting roasted.
Maybe he had a monitor under there to try to watch things, but there was like a little like tape delay.
There was a delay.
You know? There was a delay. It's like, oh shit! It's like, here's my cue.
It's possible. I don't know. People chill under those rings for long periods of time. I don't know what the hell goes on under there.
Yeah.
Maybe he was taking a piss in a bottle and he had to finish it up real quick before he could get his pants up and get out there.
At least he didn't take a nap like Hornswoggle did and completely miss his cue.
Smash for me, Katie.
Smash.
Vince.
I'm all about GOD. Smash.
All right. Bailey, Pamela Martinez, as Vince redubbed her, defends and retains her championship against one Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. Smash or pass?
Smash. They did a really good job. Trinity and Naomi and Tiffany had a good interaction. The spot on the outside where Tiffany does that whole like barrel roll. I don't even know what the fuck you call it.
It's a cartwheel.
Cartwheel? Like that cartwheel, like Alabama slam thingy. It's so cool. She's just so fucking cool. And she looks fantastic every single time. Bailey, obviously, she never really misses in the ring. She's always like a solid B+, solid ace up a sleeve when you really need a good match. And Naomi just is always great with all her like moves, the athleticism. I liked it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was the proper results. There was a moment there with Naomi and Bailey. It's good stuff.
So Zoe went down for a nap like right as the show started. She was like, I'm gonna watch Wrestling with Daddy and blah blah blah, and Bailey Bianca Belair and Io Sky and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't think Io's gonna be there, baby. But she was all excited about Bianca Belair. She wants a Bianca Belair action figure. Bianca Belair and Io are her two favorite wrestlers. She was all hyped for it. And then like the show started, and I'm like, you can go finish eating your food, or you can go take a nap, but you need to sit down and do one or the other. She goes, I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm like, all right, cool. So we put her down. So it was just me and Kate. Kate was playing Sims the whole time. Kate's favorite move is the Alabama Slam. That's what, when I made her back in the day, that's what she wanted as her finish. So Tiffany doing 2 Alabama Slams onto the table was like the only thing that really caught Kate's attention. So smash.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Damian Priest. You're curious about what?
Why she likes the Alabama Slam so much.
She thinks it's a cool fucking move. It is. Damian Priest versus Jey Uso, with Damian Priest retaining his World Heavyweight title thanks to the Judgment Day helping him despite him telling them to go fuck themselves. Smash or pass?
I'm going to smash because of the actual match itself. I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed the match personally, Then again, I do watch a lot of Judgment Day stuff with rose-colored glasses, even though they're not really actually rose-colored from the visuals. So I enjoyed it. I just kind of like the aftermath stuff is what really gets you talking, because it's like he's stopping Finn and JD from attacking Jay at post match. He's like, no, he's done. He doesn't need all this, which leads me to believe he might be turning face or just turning away from.
I was just gonna say, you just gargled shit because you were all upset about Judgment Day breaking up, and now you're smashing. You got me.
I'm
so
smashing
confused.
the match. I'm smashing the match. We're talking about the matches, aren't we?
Well, I mean, we're talking about everything.
Well, I can't.
Your
really
feelings on it. Your feelings on it. If you didn't like the match because of your feelings about them breaking up, like
no. I kind of took myself out of the moment, and I just focused on the match itself and the story within the match, and I enjoyed the match. So I'm getting it's getting a smash. Post match stuff is getting a pass.
Okay, Katie.
I'm passing. This was the perfect opportunity. I know Damien just won it. Perfect opportunity to make Jay the champion.
No.
That crowd would have lost their damn minds more than they already did. Which, shout out to them for using their phones to do the thing. That was it. There were still a lot of them off beat because white people don't know what the fuck they're doing. But like the majority had it. That shit was crazy. He had the best entrance in Paris. Oh, Leon, basically. But like he had the best entrance, hands down.
Second best.
Cody doesn't count because Cody has a good entrance everywhere he goes.
It's not my fault he had the best entrance.
I think the phones beat Cody with everyone singing Randy's theme and a very close second behind Jay.
I think it goes Cody, Jay, and then Randy. That's just me.
I don't give a fuck because the only entrance that matters are the Fiend and the Undertaker and Bray. Well, just Bray in general. Everything else is behind them in the history of professional wrestling. Hands down, period. I'm just saying in general, I don't care about entrances because a bar has been set and no one can reach it.
What the fuck about Aleister Black?
Oh, that's what Black's NXT. Yes.
NXT.
It was cool, but it was not Bray Wyatt or The Undertaker. It was really cool.
With
but it was
the
not
theme, though, it was better.
With the theme, the aesthetic? No, I'm sorry. Like, it was so fucking cool.
You can be sorry. Kabuki Warriors versus our new women's tag team champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. What, Katie?
Did you? I don't think you smashed or passed the last match.
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't give a fuck about the match. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So it
existed. I didn't. I was doing something on my phone. I didn't really pay attention. It wasn't a pass. It wasn't a smash. I didn't care.
It was it's here.
No sitting on the fence, sir. Just pass it.
It's not sitting on the fence. There was nothing in this build that made me give a fuck about this match. It wasn't two guys going at it that I was like, this is going to be a banger fucking match. And then, like you said, there was all the bullshit at the end where Damien retained. Am I frozen?
No, you're not.
You froze for a second. Okay. We could still hear you, but you were just frozen for a second. Okay.
Because Vince was doing things. But all the bullshit where Damien retained because of interference, but he didn't want interference. I just didn't care. I don't care if Judgment Day breaks up. I think everyone's better off if they do. Honestly, I do. Damien's competitor, like Jay, I love Jay. They didn't have a great build to this to where I was like, I really want to see Jay win, or like, it was what it was. So, Kabuki Warriors versus your new women's tag team champions, Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair. The Big S Storm. Smash or pass. New champs.
Well, I see what you did there. Very nice. I'm gonna smash.
I didn't do that.
I know you didn't do it, but like I appreciate it. Now I'm gonna smash. Even though I have no idea what the fuck was going on during that match at one point with who the fuck was legal, clearly the ref didn't either. That kind of took me out of the match for a hot second, like towards the end because they couldn't figure it out. But the tag team moves that Jade and Bianca do are great. Her doing Jaded, like throwing Kyrie up, kind of how she did exactly how she did to Sky Blue in AEW, the same way on the shoulders, and then kind of just toss her up, catch her into Jaded. Dope as fuck. I will never get mad at seeing that or any iteration of how she does that. And then Bianca with KOD. Bianca's now Grand Slam. Yes?
I don't know if you need NXT for Grand Slam.
You do need.
I don't know how they count it, because I feel like they've counted it without it to some people. So
no,
yeah, they don't acknowledge NXT. Charlotte doesn't
Crown.
acknowledge her title reigns. Half the time, they don't acknowledge the people who are NXT Women's Champion. I don't know.
Now, to beat Grand Slam, you need to have that NXT tag and both main roster women's titles.
regardless, she's main roster Grand Slam because they never gave her the chance with NXT. So
I'd give her Triple Crown. I think that's the actual title.
whatever.
Are you smashing
She's
or
won
passing?
a lot of fucking titles.
I'll smash it. Despite the botches, I did enjoy the match itself. Weekly Warriors, damage control, very much like everything they do in ring wise. And then Bianca, Jade, they're fucking stars. You got to do something with Bianca if she's not going to be in the title picture. And if you really want to continue to elevate Jade Cargill without forcing her to be in singles matches while she slowly like kind of tips her toes in the deep end without having to stay there the whole time, like it's really good. It's smart booking decision. You know, Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole are are called the big three supposedly, but the big three are Bianca, Jade, and Trinity, Naomi. So glad to see two-thirds of the big three get their titles.
You know, I'm smashing. Katie talked about the Kairi Sane spot, which was great. Watching Bianca and Jade. Now everyone can shut up about how WWE wasted Jade Cargill. Blah, blah. Now she's got a fucking belt on her. So everyone can shut the fuck up about how WWE has treated and used Jade Cargill, because it was, they signed Jade Cargill and they don't use her. Now she's out. Now she's being used. And now she's a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is such bullshit, because she debuted at the Royal Rumble, had a marquee match at WrestleMania, and won the titles on her third PLE. So everyone can suck my dick, because like she's being used fine. Just shut up.
Speaking of sucking dick, AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, smash or pass?
I'm gonna be honest, I really wasn't paying attention to those matches.
Me either.
I was
now just watched it.
All right. So again, this was another match that honestly, it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. The thing was, I knew it was a good match. I didn't give a fuck about the build to this match. I knew going in this was the opposite of Damian Priest and Jey Uso, where like it didn't really have a build. It kind of did, but I didn't give a fuck about it. I didn't care about the build because I knew they were going to go have a good match, even though the build was mostly AJ versus LA Knight to get AJ in the spot against Cody, and then whatever. Everything felt kind of quick. The draft was in there. It took away from a lot of the build because of the draft and all that. So, but the match itself was really fucking good, as you'd expect with an AJ Styles Cody Rhodes match. At one point, AJ Styles hits a burning hammer, which really excited Corey Graves. Cody kicked out at one, and then fucking Rhodes up, got up, scared the shit out of, because we don't say the other thing around here. He Rhodesed up, scared the shit out of AJ Styles. Cody retains, smash.
I did see the Cody cutter off the top rope, because good lord.
Oh, that was good. It almost didn't land good because AJ wasn't fully flattened, but he was still able to, just kind of goes to show how great AJ is. But I am going to smash it. What I did watch, what I didn't see, I enjoyed. I thought it was very well done. Plus, AJ Styles wore purple, my favorite color. He hardly ever wears purple. I guess a smash just in of itself.
Do you know why he wore purple?
Yeah, they said on commentary because
joining the Judgment Day.
Oh, I really hope so. We need new members. Fuck, man. We can't get
Damian Priest is gonna leave, Dom is gonna leave, and Judgment Day is gonna be 3 white guys.
2 former Bullet Club members. leaders.
No, technically, it'd be one white guy and two newly drafted Latinos. They're Latinos now, as per the Getcho draft.
Vince, what was your overall smash or pass on Backlash?
Overall, I'm going to smash it. The crowd was fantastic. They were good on SmackDown. They were good this whole weekend. Shout out to them. I love these PLEs outside the country. Always bring the energy. Bring one to Mexico. Why the fuck don't you? We finally got Mania in Vegas. Let's get a PLE in Mexico. I don't even want a Big Four. Give me a fucking Backlash. Give me like a Battleground. Something in Mexico.
You got a petition for 5 years to get that, so have fun.
You know
I've
what
already
I want?
started for a year.
I want them to build a temple with a wrestling ring at the top of the temple so we can wrestle on top of a temple.
Oh, that sounds like something Lucha Underground might have done.
Royal Rumble, where you get thrown out and then you tumble down the fucking temple stairs.
Oh my god.
And everyone has to
Jesus.
race up the temple to get in the ring to fight. That'd be fantastic. Anyway,
Is it-
Oh my god. I'd
You-
be wheezing as soon as I get to the top.
You legit just ripped off Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That's legit.
that is not the point. Anyway, I am smashing Backlash. Katie, what about you?
Oh, it's a smash. For 5 matches, international crowds. Now we get to come back to America and be like, what? Fuck you guys. Sucks.
Yeah. U.S. crowds suck. Except for Chicago. We do
Chicago
it right.
is the best U.S. crowd. It is.
Oh,
the only
both
good
of you
US
can
crowd.
suck
It is!
Chicago's dick.
It
Jesus
is!
Christ.
Facts.
It's
Well,
not.
first and foremost, I am Chicago's dick, so all I'm doing is sucking myself off. A. B.
And if you could, why wouldn't you?
I'm just saying it's probably the best dick you could suck when it comes to professional wrestling. So, like, everyone should suck Chicago's dick. Katie, please plug yourself.
Yeah, okay. You can follow me on Twitter, GatorWrestling13, Linktree, Fantasy All Things Sheila Showcase, Twitch.tv/Sheila Showcase, and YouTube.com/Sheila Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Patreon.com/Sheila Showcase. There's something on there now that I just uploaded, so if you go and pay for May's month, you get all of the stuff that I have done on there before. I plan on utilizing that more now that I have time. And I mean, your girl's got to start getting some money for Mania, so help a bitch out, please and thank you. Thank you, finally.
Vince?
Shit.
Go ahead and check out the Get Show podcast at Get Show Podcast, wherever social media is available, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. Go check out the latest episode. We did the racial draft where we draft wrestlers into a specific delegation. I drafted for the Latinos, find out who I drafted, who got stolen from me, who I didn't get to draft, all that fun stuff. Check out youtube.com/SCSVince, where we'll be having a more formal WWE draft featuring the Warden, Matt Ritter, and Kitty Can See Bay. Let us know what you guys thought. We'll be releasing the rosters after the episode drops. If it doesn't drop on Cinco de Mayo, which it officially is, it'll drop Monday, May 6th. It just depends on how much sleep I get and how much work I get in on Sunday. So
Let us know who had the best roster because it's probably Roz Ritter. And you guys can
No,
follow
it's not.
Roz Ritter, Matt Ritter, at MattRitter, on Twitter only, or at Getting Off for your horror content, Matt Ritter for your wrestling content, everywhere else on socials at Smackin It Raw, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. We are back next week with Getting Off. It is the Katie Horror Showcase 2, where we do news and rumors, and I make Katie watch Night of the Demons 2. The week after that is our panel episode. We have
2 weeks.
5 people on the panel. The show after that. Sorry, the show after that,
Yeah.
2 weeks. We have 5 people on the panel. It is Young Kings Wrestling, Reek and TC, The Will Gray, Katie, and I. The topic is zombies. We each picked a zombie movie. We will watch all 5 movies, and then we will break them down and discuss our thoughts, why they were picked, if everyone else liked them or not. It's going to be a good time, so look out for that stuff as well. For Vicente Delgado Estrada. No, I fucked that up. Vicente Alejandro Delgado Estrada. I was going to roll my R too soon. And Miss Katie Kinsey, baby. I'm the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your #1 podcast on places where you can find people having sex on the internet.
Feliz 5 de Mayo.